Aloha mai kako. My name is Joel Nicolo. Currently I am an undergraduate student at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and today I'm going to be showing you a data annotation tool that I've created in Python using Matplotlib's interactive capabilities, and this is a pixel-wise classifier. So you're basically classifying pixels into the class. So for example, here if you go in classifier, I have class info, and I've provided these classes. So I did a ground class, a historic class, and a new class, and a sky class. And let's jump into this tool and see how it works. So first I do want to pay homage to COSAT. It's a shoreline delineation tool that works with satellite imagery, and they have a data annotation tool that had this skip keep functionality where you're pushing the arrow keys, and I did borrow that from them, as well as you can push escape to quit. I only have one image, so I'm going to push keep, and then we see we're starting with that first class we saw in the class info JSON. So I'm going to start with that first class. I'm going to pick a tool by pressing a key. So let's say I'm doing the ground. I want to do the lasso tool because this road seems a lot of variation, so I don't know that flood fill would be the best to do it. So I'm going to kind of take this lasso tool, go like this. I'm holding the mouse down that entire time, the left button on the mouse down the entire time, and then I can push enter to exit this tool, and I can decide I want to use another tool, or I can decide I just want to push escape. And once I push escape, I can either go to the next image and say I'm done classifying this one, or I can go to the next class by pushing the right arrow key. So I'll push that right arrow key, and now we're on the class sky. I think flood fill will work well on this, so I've chosen to select, I push 2 to do flood fill, and awesome, that is working well. So I can do something like this, and down here I can actually mess around with the tolerance of the flood fill just by grabbing this, for example, like that. Now the tolerance is higher, so I think it will, yeah, so you saw that, like, do stuff like that, it's grabbing it much more drastically. So I'm going to push delete to get rid of all of that because I didn't really want that. I'll put the flood fill back down. I accidentally tapped on that, so I'll push delete, and then again pushing delete to get rid of these moves. Go like that, and then I can push enter to end, and maybe I still want to use another tool, so I can switch, push 3, and now I'm using the lasso tool. And boom. So then I can push enter, and again I can push escape to finish this class, and I could go to the next class. There's 2 more, so I think this, yeah, is historic, so maybe I use the lasso tool to do historic real quick, and I gotta go around this window because those pixels might be confusing any tool you're using, and I don't want to classify plants as historic. But so I can push enter, and then at this point we don't need to go through the last class, so I'm going to push exit to go to the next image. There's only one image, so there's no image to go next to, and I want to go over what this returns. It returns a dictionary, which essentially has the image name, so if you have multiple images, there'll be multiple images in this, and then it has the classes and their and the mask that they've created. So you notice if you haven't done a class, a mask won't be created for it. You can change this if you want this, but my thinking is you don't want an empty mask for a class, but depending on how you're working with this data, you might decide you want to go add that in. And this obviously is available on GitHub, so you can feel free to do that. And then here we just kind of want to look how this does. So new class, we didn't do new class, so it's not going to show up, but let's do historic, which again was that kind of that wall, and we see it, you know, this does correctly save those things, and I got some balloons in this, so maybe that wasn't a perfect classification. But yeah, this is an overview of the tool. I'll have more specific information in the README on the GitHub, and I will be linking the GitHub page on in the comments of this video. Thank you so much.